Alrighty, so today we are going to take a look at the genre of our text that we're going to be reading in our reader. And it's a different genre. We've read traditional tales, and we've read folk tales, and we read realistic fiction. And this week we're going to take a look, and this weekend next we're going to spend on informational text. And informational text gives us, can you see that word? Information. Informational text gives us information. So we're going to learn facts about something. This week we're going to read a story called Living in the Desert. So we're going to learn facts about the desert through this text that we're going to read. The purpose of informational text is to inform readers about or explain a topic. And so when you read informational text, you are trying to learn something from it or gain information about a topic. The text structure is the way that a writer organizes the idea, and that depends on the author, or it would depend on the subject and how the author wants to relay that subject. So they might do a comparison, they might do a cause and effect, and we can kind of take a look at different nonfictions and see how they're organized, but that depends on how the writer wants to organize the information. The text features are what we will see in all informational text, but we might not see all of these text features. So we're going to take a peek at different types of informational text and see which text features we see in them, okay? Headings are like small little titles within a text, and I'll show you an example in a minute. Bold words, you know what those are. Those are words that are written really dark and they pop out of the page at you. They might also highlight a word, kind of like this text feature looks highlighted. Chapters are just smaller sections, and you kind of are familiar with that with longer chapter books where they divide it into chapters where maybe the setting changes or something like that. In informational text, the chapters would be divided maybe by topic that they're discussing. The table of contents is at the front of a book, and the table of contents would list the ideas within in chronological order. So you'll see this at the very beginning of some books, and sometimes it's just called contents, sometimes it's called table of contents. So we'll take a look at some of those in a little bit too. An index is in the back of the book, and an index would list the topics, but an index lists the topics in alphabetical order, and then it tells the page that you would find that on. Informational text might also have charts and photographs. Most often they're photographs, not drawings, right? But they might have some illustrations, but you'll notice that there are lots of photographs in informational text. They would also might have a glossary. We know what a glossary is because we've been using our glossary at the back of our reader, but a glossary is kind of like a mini dictionary for that piece of work. And then it also might have captions. Captions explain what the images are of, okay? So let's just take a look at one page in our science book. Okay, so this isn't a page we've read yet, but if you take a look, you're going to see some of the features that we just talked about. This right here in blue, this inherited characteristics, this would be called a heading. And it's kind of like a little title for these paragraphs. We know we're going to learn about inherited characteristics in this whole page. And then can you tell any word that pops out? See this word inherit? It's in bold and it's highlighted. So it pops out of the page at us, and we know that's a vocabulary word for that. All right. Then if we look behind the text, we're going to see photographs. Look at these beautiful photographs of that frog and these pine trees. Those are text features. They're photographs that help us understand what they're talking about in the text. And then we have this right here. This is a caption. This caption tells what this picture is of. It says young pine trees inherit green, needle-like leaves from adult pine trees. So it tells us what this is a picture of. It's like a baby little pine tree, right? So just on this one page in our science book, we see these features of informational text. We see headings, bold, photographs, and captions. If you have a stack of books somewhere in your house, a little library, maybe you could find a non-fiction book. And I want you to see, just page through it and see if you have, does your nonfiction book have a table of contents? Does your nonfiction book have an index or a glossary? It might not have all of them, but see if you can find some of the features. And then you're going to get started reading just chapter 1 in our informational text today, Living in Deserts. You're going to read just chapter 1 and stop after you get to chapter 1. Have a good day.